What's up, guys? Another episode of the Sports Brotherhood coming to you. We're going to be talking some NFL action for week 2. Got Tanner from Denver in the house. What's going on?
Not too much. Just Chiefs fan in Denver, as good as I can be, I guess. So
Beautiful. What's
okay.
what's that glorious flag there that you got behind you?
That's a California State flag, school I went to for a little bit there.
That long ass acronym. What all does that stand for?
Cal State University of San Bernardino. Not well known. Or break from Iowa, I can tell you that.
Well, you're putting them on the map right now, so that's what that is. All right, well, had to throw some history out there on Cal State University of San Bernardino, but week 2 NFL action. Cowboys beat the Redskins. Thank God. I could not deal with an 0-2 start after Iowa lost to North Dakota. Couldn't do it. So they won that one. It was at 27-23. Dak Prescott continued to look good. That was, probably one of the not highlights, but storylines of the week. He went, 22-30, I think 292 yards, no turnovers, had a rushing touchdown. Did you get a chance to see that game at all?
I saw highlights minutes of the game actually, but really like Dak. I know you're a Cowboys fan. I like Romo. He's got good stats. He does his thing. But Dak out there just looks.
He's got good stats. I feel like that was a slight jab in there.
Nah, I respect Romo. Let's say that. He's had a great career. Just looks strong. That's one main thing I like. He looks strong, young, full of energy kind of thing.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, but a bigger, tougher Russell Wilson is what I get.
Yep.
Liked him in college.
Yeah, I remember watching that Alabama game last year with Mississippi State, and I don't think they won it. I think they beat them the year before, and then last year they lost on their defense just couldn't get a stop. But I'm not positive on that. But anyways, I remember not really thinking anything of Mississippi State's quarterback. Obviously, okay, whatever. And then I saw him play, and I'm like, this guy's totally legit. So, and 4th round pick for him to just come in and be as poised as he is, it's all the cliches. It's all cliches, he's so poised and calm and cool and collected. But, I mean, I want to say against the Blitz, he was 5-7 for 80-some yards. He's not a typical rookie quarterback. Obviously, he has the offensive line and the running game and Dez Bryant, which they finally got going. But I've heard people say that Romo might not get his job back this year. I want to say LT and someone else on NFL Network said that, and then obviously just Twitter and blogs and all that. But I don't want to go that far, but, man, you can make a legitimate argument and say that.
Looks like a grown man on the field, which is weird for a rookie, especially rookie quarterback coming out, especially 4th round. He looks like I don't want to say quite like Cam, but he just looks like a man out there, can take a hit or two. And people forget, he was up for the Heisman for a little while. He was up in the Heisman race. And that tough SEC conference probably got to him there in the end, but he's definitely no slouch. And what you said about Romo, I think, did Jerry Jones come out that Romo will get his job back?
Yeah, Jerry Jones said it, and then they even asked Dak about it, and he was like, dude, this is Romo's team. I'm not even – there's no quarterback controversy. There's nothing like that.
Really?
But, I mean, dude, so Romo's out, they said 6 to 10 weeks. So Dallas has their bye week 7. So even if he comes back week 8, let's say if Dallas is 6-1, you have to hold the conversation of, 6-1 with, he's obviously the quarterback of the future. There's really, week 1, he was a little inaccurate with the ball, but week 2, Cole Beasley's on pace for 100 catches this year, man. Like, it's crazy. But
got to be great to have for a rookie quarterback like that, to have a guy, Julian Edelman-esque small guy, but he's going to get open. He's going to have a step or two on his guy. He's almost like a security blanket, tight end type player, but without the size and the slot.
That's not even mentioning Witten, the real security blanket there. So, I mean, the only thing that worries me is that defense it's awful. They made plays when they needed to, but if Kirk Cousins is even an average NFL quarterback, Washington wins that game 35-27. I mean, there's like two different opportunities where he had Deshaun Jackson and then I want to say it was Jameson Crowder. Deep balls burned to everybody. J.J. Wilcox cannot take an angle to save his life, and just underthrew it, overthrew it. So, but man, gotta like what you see from Dak. One quarterback that I'm kind of a little critical of that would be your quarterback would be Alex Smith. I want to say it was that 5-point loss. I wrote this down. Yeah, 19-12. Yep. So they lost to the Texans. Obviously, the Texans have a good defense. They have a good front seven. Good. I think they went cornerback last year. Didn't they get that Kevin Johnson guy or whatever last year in the first round?
Played well this week. Played very well.
So, I mean, they have a good defense. But for some reason, I don't believe in Alex Smith, and it's part just due to him, it's part due to scheme, and it's part due to what he has around him. So he's already, he's not wired to be a down the field passer. That's just not who he is. Compound the issue with Andy Reid's offense. It's West Coast. They're not going to take, shots down the field. And then 3, besides Travis Kelce, all the receivers are 5'11". He needs a big-bodied guy, well, Kelce, but not anybody who can just throw it up one-on-one 30 yards down the field or anything like that. So I know you watched the game. What were your thoughts on him and the Chiefs for that matter?
Well, to start off, you brought it up. One big point I had, where was Kelce Sunday? He blew up against the Texans 2 games last year. He had the 2-touchdown game early on in the season. Essentially non-existent, secondly, especially in the second half, which I didn't understand. He should be a huge part of the game plan. And your point with going down the field, years ago, it was really bad. It's gotten better. It still needs to get better at this point. But from where I see it, when they're playing against a good defensive backfield, Texans got 3 pretty decent cornerbacks. That's when it turns into trouble. Good corners. But Macklin had a big, probably 2 or 3 big drops. That really hurt him.
Alrighty there.
But yeah, did I lose you there for a second?
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. And anyways, so you were saying about Travis Kelce, how they weren't getting him involved.
Yes. So he was targeted early, but I just felt like they lost him part of the second quarter. Honestly, after last year, the Texans probably schemed to take him away and then just said, let's man up these other receivers one-on-one, which is honest and fair. As a Chiefs fan, you take away Kelce, and Macklin had a couple big drops down the field more than 2 years ago to go down the field. But it's still not quite there.
Didn't they play them in the first week last year? Is that the one where Kelce had the swinging, punching football celebration? I loved that.
Yes. And he had another touchdown opposite that. He went up and got the ball. But I felt like Texans probably schemed for sure to take him away. Macklin had a couple big catches, like I was saying, that he dropped. Texans just have 3 really good cornerbacks that they took him out of the game. I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Obviously Jamal Charles is coming back from, it was the ACL, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So he's coming back from that. You have Spencer Ware, who's looked really damn impressive, to be honest. And then Charkandrick West, too. So you got 3 running backs, a legit tight end, probably top 5 tight end, and a decent receiver. What is Alex Smith really going to do this year? Like, is he going to lead you guys to the playoffs, a division title? Like, what do you foresee him doing?
With that division, with the Broncos, I'm going to call it 10-6. I think this game, the offensive woes, it's not going to be like that really unless they're playing the Broncos, which could be almost be expected with that defense. With Andy Reid's offense, it's so like if you're thrown off and a defense is like really
pressing
yards, yeah, sometimes it's really, really difficult with the West Coast. I just don't foresee with him being such a veteran mind often against the struggle a little bit, but I think this is probably the worst offensive game that they'll have all year.
All right.
There's some bias and optimism in there.
I mean, what, he went 20 of 37 for 186 yards, was sacked 4 times. That was, I want to say it's like 5 yards per attempt. So, I mean, that's my thing. Like, I know you said Macklin dropped some passes, and we already went over, the fact that that's not their scheme. He doesn't have those players, but it's just, like, I just feel all of his throws are, like, sometimes they force Jamal Charles the ball just to, like, get him numbers. They'll be like, oh, well, let's dump it off for 4 yards. And it's like, okay, it's an extension in the running game. Like, I get it. But, like, man, like, just – I'm sure he's done it before. I don't watch every Chiefs game. If they're on CBS, I'll watch them. But, like, I just want to see there be some games where they just, like, that is their game plan. Where they're like, you know what? We're going down the field. We're going to attack. Like, if somebody has slow defensive backs, Macklin's fast, I honestly don't know who your number 2 is.
Chris Conley, but, yeah, he's nothing to –
Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia.
All right, he's solid. Is he bigger? Is he like 6'2", 6'3"?
He's bigger. It's taken time for him to develop fully.
All right. Well, maybe that's what they're trying to do. I remember him in Georgia. He was solid. All right, so you're saying that this will be the worst offensive game, 10-6. That's respect.
I think that'll be the case. I think the defense will come around and play a little better. They let Osweiler have his way the first quarter, and then they really shut him down after that. But right off the bat, he had his way. But
so the Sunday night game, Minnesota and Green Bay, that was a great game. Low scoring, old school kind of NFC North. Minnesota won that one 17-14. But obviously a couple big things happened in that game. Adrian Peterson tore his meniscus. They're saying he's only out 3 to 4 weeks, which is crazy. And then Aaron Rodgers threw the game-losing interception for
that often, Aaron Rodgers.
What?
You don't see that often with Aaron Rodgers. I'll tell you that.
Nope, not at all. There's that victory swig for all those softball game triples.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't see that often. And the funny thing is that it went to I forgot his first name. I know it's Wayne's that he just got picked on. It was like Tremaine. All right.
Trey.
So, yeah, he just jumped in front of an out route. Like, it looked like it was late, maybe a little underthrown. But, I mean, it's funny just to see I don't want to say regression, but I don't know what else to call it. I mean, that offense was unstoppable 2 years ago, and then last year they lose Jordy Nelson. Obviously, you're expecting a drop-off, but even Randall Cobb didn't look good, and then, again, obviously Jordy Nelson coming back from that knee injury, but last game he was 20 of 34 for 199 and 2 touchdowns. This week he was 20 of 36 for 213 and 3 touchdowns. And that late pick. So, I mean, what what are you seeing or thinking about the Packers in Green Bay? They used to be one of the elite offenses, and now it's kind of we don't know what we got.
Well, I actually thought they're trying to get Lacey back into it. They're trying to give him the rock. Let's go. I watched the game fully last night. I saw an uncharacteristic Aaron Rodgers, inaccurate with the ball, which was a little frustrating. I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan. I'm not a Packers fan, obviously, but he was so good 2 years ago, like you were saying. It's kind of frustrating.
He was like the best quarterback in the league for probably 4 years in a row. Well, not that long, maybe 3. Like the year that Peyton went off, okay, whatever. But he's been like the guy for probably the last 3 years. And
last year, I chalked it up to once Nelson went down, I think he had the slowest skill position in football. And I said, once Jordy comes back, this will all be done. They signed Jared Cook, huge. They got Randall Cobb, Lacey slimming down. I thought they were going to be putting up, 35 on everyone. I don't know what it is exactly. I mean, Vikings have a tough defense. They got a tough front seven. They got some corners.
I mean, Jacksonville, they're not bad. They're not great. They're getting better, but it's just something that he would torch Minnesota when they've had Zimmer for the last several years. They've had, they've had a good defense, and just, I don't know. I read an article from, I can't remember who it was. I want to say maybe Pete Prisco, but he's saying that, like, the Packers game plan, like, they don't run a very diverse route tree most of the time, just like pretty much putting it on coaching. And I'm always a little bit leery doing that because I feel like it's an easy way out to just say, oh, they're not coaching right when players have to make plays. But I mean, obviously I haven't watched any like all 22 of the Packers film, but I know you'd mentioned, before about, what's going on with the receivers, and Devontae Adams, like, we traded for him last year. Or no, I traded him to you. Is that what it was? Or the other way around? No, it was that way.
Dez.
Yeah, I traded for Dez, and he broke his fucking foot, and then I traded you Devontae Adams, and he didn't do anything either, so, I mean, but yeah, he hasn't really developed that much. Like, it's weird. Like, I just don't know what to make of it.
Well, you brought up Trey Waynes earlier. He had a couple penalties early on in the game. Did you see that? He had probably 2 or 3.
Oh, they're picking on him.
But he was picking on him. But if you watch the replay closely, Trey Waynes wasn't beat or anything. Chris Collinsworth was saying it. He was trying to do too much. Like, he was right there with the receiver, and then he was just all over the guy. Like, he could have
not turning his head at all.
Yeah, like, he was there with the guy, really playing the ball like he could have been. And if he could have been, it could have been even worse, I think, for Aaron Rodgers. Wayne could have had a few more because he was with the guy and wasn't converting. I don't know what. Maybe he was nervous. I don't really know, but he played well besides that.
If you would have told me going into that game that Sam Bradford was going to outplay Aaron Rodgers, like, Bradford went 22-31 for 282, 2 touchdowns, and, like, Stephon Diggs is his guy. Like, 2 weeks with the team, and I want to say Stephon Diggs had, like, 7 catches for, like, 170 yards, and I know he had 8 touchdowns. Maybe he had both touchdowns, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, Diggs, he was huge last year. I knew he was a beast. Number 2, I feel like that's his spot. That was number 2. I don't think he's a number 1 guy. That's his speed. I think he should be a number 2 receiver.
What about Antonio Brown? Because that's how I viewed Antonio Brown up until literally this year. Like, last year, just shredded. But the whole year, I'm like, yeah, I don't think he's that. And then it finally took me, like, okay, yeah, dude, he's one of the best receivers in the league. But they kind of have similar skill sets. Like, quick feet, deceptive speed, get open, catch the ball. Like, I don't know. Maybe he is a number 1.
That's true. They always have him listed as a 2. I don't really know why. Who else do they have, really?
They have Charles Johnson, Stephon Diggs, and then Cordell Patterson, which he isn't even really a receiver. But Kyle Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph's totally legit at the tight end. Yes. And then AP, like, blows my mind that he's only out 3 to 4 weeks.
What meniscus is, it's not I know firsthand it's not a huge deal.
Give me some of that knowledge on the knee structure and the anatomy of the human knee.
Yeah, well, the meniscus is, I mean, it's your padding between your bones, but you can't really repair it is the thing. Once it's torn up, you clean it up is the thing. Like, if you got to
take the cartilage out and then just have it be bone on bone.
Take it out. There's no real way to repair it a lot. People are saying, like, he could have surgery and be out for the year. That's not true. I foresee it as he's going to get it cleaned up and be back because it's Adrian Peterson, first of all. Second of all, there's no real fix to this issue. They're not going to hold him out.
What about basketball players that do microfracture surgery?
I don't know as much about the microfracture. I know more about just the meniscus ligament issue, but I don't know how long are they usually out for.
I don't know. It's like when it first started, like Amari did it, and that changed his entire career. I think Grant Hill tried it, and like it just did not work well. But now, just modern medicine is insane, and I guess it happens quite frequently. I've never heard of it in football. I was just throwing that out there, but yeah, 3 to 4 weeks. So I mean, this is I hate to say this, but like when it first happened, I was like, man, I hope he's not back in time for Dallas, and they play in like December. So that's I take it back. I'm not trying to have anybody be out for the year. That's just cruel. But
yeah,
3 to 4 weeks. So you're saying they're just gonna snip it?
I'm guessing they'll just clean it up, go run on it, recover in the off season. Because there's not a whole lot of recovery you can really do for it. It's not a healing element of your body. It's not like a muscle
Cartilage.
It's cartilage. It doesn't have flowing blood. Something that'll heal up really quick. So they'll probably just clean it up, ice it, go and play.
Well, whoever picked AP in fantasy, that's gonna kind of suck for them for the next few weeks. But who's one of your players that you were right about? You're like, do I want to play them? Or could be somebody that's good, but somebody that you're right about, and then somebody that you're ready for them to blow up and have a big week, and they just dropped the ball.
I'll start with, I was ready for him to have a big week. Baldwin, for sure, 100%. Had him, I have in a league as my flex, actually. I got DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Marshall, and then Doug Baldwin came around another 2 rounds after that, and I was like, wow, I'm going to be sitting pretty. Kind of laid an egg first week, definitely laid an egg this week. Was not happy about it. Something's going on in Seattle. I don't know what it is.
I mean, I think it's just the natural evolution. They're moving away from a run-first team to a pass-first team. I like the receivers. I think Baldwin we were just talking about how you viewed Stephon Diggs as number 2. I think Seattle has a bunch of number 2s, but they're all good. Like, they're underrated. I like Doug Baldwin. Love Tyler Lockett. And, Jermaine Kearse? He's all right, too. But I have Baldwin in the league. I have Baldwin, Amari Cooper, and then Des Bryant. So, I mean, I like that wide receiver trio. But, yeah, I had him. He didn't do anything either. But the one that I was wrong about was Jeremy Langford. They just got done playing Philly, and I think he got me 9 points. I don't know what to think. I mean, he's really the only back that they have, and that's one of the things that I look for in fantasy is if you're going to get the ball, I mean, maximize your abilities to score points. If you're splitting carries, I hate that. So I went Langford over Crabtree, and Crabtree had that really nice touchdown. He's had a touchdown in 2 straight weeks. But I don't know, hoping for better things. Who was the guy that you got right that you thought was going to blow up and had a really good week?
I'm going to split it between 2 guys just because one guy, I snatched him up off the waivers, didn't want to play him being a Chiefs fan. That'd be Will Fuller. Liked his speed coming out, and I honestly liked his matchup against my Chiefs defense being a speedster with DeAndre Hopkins on the other side.
Yeah,
matchup nightmare.
Who do you guys have
all year?
Peters, because you don't have Sean Smith anymore. He went to Oakland.
Phillip Gaines. He was a third-round pick. No, he came out of Rice, actually. Set the college record for passes defense in a career.
Is he like a young guy? Like they didn't sign him from anywhere?
No, he was drafted in the 3rd round, and he blew out his ACL last year, which was a bummer.
Man, so you guys went Peters and Gaines, 1st and 3rd?
And he's a quick guy. Really fast, really long arms. I think how he played for the matchup they had, and you know how the Chiefs defense is, they just man up. I mean, you're going to get beat. He made some plays, but torched him a couple times. And then my other right, I said I was going to split it. Benjamin, who I just couldn't wait for to come back this year just to watch him play. Big receiver. Receivers go up and pluck the ball out of the air. So I couldn't wait for Kelvin Benjamin to come back. He blew up this week. So,
especially with Cam. I mean, literally match made in heaven. Like, hey, you're 6'5", go get the ball. Can throw the ball 70 yards in the air. Like, that's just – it's perfect.
At quarterback, and I'm going to throw you the ball.
Yep. Yeah, you drink that wine. For my right, I'm going with DeMarco Murray. 2 straight weeks, he's had a solid week. I got him in maybe the 5th or 6th round, maybe 7th round, and I didn't like my value. I sat there until the very end, and then finally went Murray, and kind of got teased for it just because obviously they just drafted Derrick Henry in the 2nd round. But man, I'm a huge DeMarco Murray fan. Like, I wanted Dallas to keep him. I thought it was stupid that they let Philly sign him. But just a quick caveat: the comp pick that Dallas got turned into Dak Prescott, so I'll take it. But love DeMarco Murray. He's one cut, tough runner. Like, he's not going to outrun everybody, but he's a good running back, and I think he's going to get the majority of the carries. Obviously, there'll be some split. You don't draft a 2nd round back for nothing, but he had 12 carries for 80-some yards. The week before, he had 9 carries for 70-some yards. So, and I think last week, week 1, he had a rushing touchdown. Or receiving. So, I mean, if you can keep putting that up, I don't have too much depth at running back. I think I have, who is it? Maybe Carlos Hyde behind him. So, I mean, I don't know. But if he can keep that up, I will totally take that all day of the week. But
I do like Murray. He runs hard, and that's what I like. I wouldn't say he's the biggest. He's not the fastest, but something about him. He looks for the contact. He runs hard. He's one cut, which I do like. He doesn't dance.
He's like a poor man's AP, and coincidentally they went to the same college. But I mean, he's totally the exact same back. They both coincidentally have fumbling issues. I'm still bitter about that Packers playoff game when he literally had a 65-yard touchdown in front of him, and Julius Peppers just reached his arm in while engaged in a block. Just reached his arm in and knocked it out. Oh. So
I mean,
gotta love the fantasy picks. Obviously, those are going to change every week. But for anybody watching, if you guys want us to talk about certain comments or anything, leave us some comments in the section. Obviously, Facebook page. I'm getting a Twitter up here shortly, but it's slowly starting to build. People are starting to watch. So if there's anything you want us to talk about, if you guys want to come on and debate with us, talk with us, obviously do that as well. So, but Tanner from Denver, definitely appreciate the time. So
I accidentally did the Terrell Davis salute. I mean, I don't want to give Terrell Davis any love here.
TD. All right. Well, we'll catch you guys next time. Later.